This is a 2002 Ford Taurus SES Sport with the Duratec engine. So we are going to replace the PCV valve and the hose that leads from it to the intake manifold because that hose has collapsed and it's been giving me a bad idle. So the first thing we do is take off this air cleaner, the bellows, this little housing where the mass airflow sensor is, and disconnect these vacuum hoses. Sometimes this collar gets stuck up against that throttle body. You have to coax it out a little bit. Detach the connection to the mass airflow sensor. And this little shield here just pops off. I have this tool here, it's a gardening tool, a weeder. It does great with little plastic fittings like this without damaging them. Pop it off. A lot of the tutorials I've seen has you take the EGR off and disconnect a lot of the throttle springs and things like that to get to the PCV valve, which is right here, and the hose comes in and connects here on the bottom of the air intake. I'm going to try to get this out without taking all of those things off. The end of the hose here that attaches to the bottom of the air intake has this little clamp here. I'm going to use these channel locks, try to get on there and snap that off. See how this hose has collapsed. There's a crack in it there, and it wasn't allowing any pressure to be carried on this hose. It's trashed. The PCV valve connects here. This new hose, you can see, has this reinforced elbow, and that's where the factory hose failed. Everything else looks exactly the same. This one might be a couple millimeters longer. This clamp has this piece here that I would imagine I leave this on. I've never installed one of these before, but I would imagine this is here for our convenience so that we can slip that hose on and then pull this clip off, and then it's clamped. So I'm going to get this inserted in here and see how this works. got both ends on, so I'm going to pull this clip off now, see if what kind of problems that's going to give me. Alright, that seems to be on. In order to get clearance in here, I had to take a couple of these leads off so that I can get my hand in there a little bit more easily, and then use my flashlight to, it's awfully dark underneath there, use my flashlight to help me out seeing exactly what I was doing. So we'll hook these things back up. This is the idle air control valve, probably one of the next things that I replace. Replace this assembly. Return all of these connections. Hook up the mass airflow sensor. Reinstall this little shield. It just snaps on. Hook up the battery. Now let's see if it runs. Excellent. I think it's fixed.